To get us more into the opening day spirit, we're going to actually quiz you on some trivia.
Yeah, get ready for this. How well do you know the Cincinnati Reds and their history? It's today's Cincinnati Curiosity. Take a look.
As Cincinnati anticipates opening day, here are some curious facts about the Cincinnati Reds. Everyone knows Cincinnati created baseball's first professional team in 1869. We forget that the team disbanded after the disappointing 1870 season. Manager Harry Wright moved to Boston, where he organized, with some former Cincinnati teammates, the Boston Red Stockings in 1871. Renamed the Boston Braves in 1912, that team moved to Milwaukee in 1953 and to Atlanta in 1966. So the direct successor to Cincinnati's original team is now playing in Atlanta. The 1869 Cincinnati Red Stockings created a sensation by wearing knickerbocker trousers to show off their manly calves, clothed in lurid scarlet to entice more women to the ballpark. The problem was the bright dyes used were poisonous, and players reported cases of blood poisoning when they were spiked. Teams switched to white sanitary socks under the dangerously dyed stirrup socks to avoid infection. Before their current accommodations, the Reds played at many venues, beginning with Union Grounds, located approximately where the Union Terminal Fountain is today. They moved to Camp Washington, to a park variously known as Cincinnati Baseball Park, Avenue Grounds, and Brighton Park, and next to the Bank Street Grounds in Brighton. The team settled at a former brickyard at the corner of Western Avenue and Findley Street named League Park. This park was rebuilt as the Palace of the Fans in 1902 and as Redland Field in 1912. This venue was renamed Crosley Field in 1934. The Reds moved to Riverfront Stadium in 1970. On June 8, 1934, the Cincinnati Reds became the first Major League Baseball team to travel to a game by airplane when they journeyed to Chicago. Manager Bob O'Farrell and 19 players flew to Chicago, some said in a bid to distract attention from their last place standing. The Reds beat the Cubs that day 4-3. Despite winning the National League pennant in 1961, the Reds saw dwindling attendance over the following years. When owner Bill DeWitt let it be known in 1964 that he was entertaining an offer to sell the team to a San Diego syndicate, the Queen City panicked. The Rosie Reds organized to encourage women to attend games. The Rosie Reds are still going strong after nearly 60 years. Rosie, by the way, is an acronym. It stands for Rooters Organized to Stimulate Interest and Enthusiasm.
Just when you thought you knew everything about the Redlegs, Greg Hand from Cincinnati Curiosities swoops in with those 5 fascinating facts.
Yeah, but of course those left us with some more questions. All right, so if the 1869 Reds are now playing in Atlanta, Greg, when was today's team founded?
This is a case of third time's a charm.
Uh-oh.
So the 1869 Reds had a wonderful season in 1870, but since it wasn't a complete shutout of all the other teams, the city just totally lost interest. So the team dissolved, and as we said, they went on to Boston. The Reds, or the city, started a second team in the early 1870s, and they dissolved. They got into a fight with the league, and they went out of business. So the city started a third team in 1881, and that's the team that we see playing today.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
How about that? Well, were the Red Stockings really poisonous?
This is one of those things where you wonder if, in fact, there was really a case of poisoning or if this was one of those superstitions. Baseball is a game of superstitions. You don't jinx anything. And so if you got an infection when somebody spiked you and blame it on your socks, that might have been a superstition. On the other hand, this was the days before they had OSHA and EPA and all these safety regulations, and it was entirely legal to use poisonous dyes in clothing.
Wow. Go figure.
Interesting.
Well, so we talked about a lot of the firsts with the Reds, first team, first airplane ride. They had a lot of firsts.
They did indeed. Not only were they the first professional baseball team, but the Reds played the first night game in baseball in 1935. They played in the first televised game way back in 1939.
Wow.
You know, they played the first doubleheader back in the 1870s. In 1892, they played the first game where a sitting United States president attended a baseball game, and that was Benjamin Harrison, who's kind of a local boy.
Yeah.
So a lot of firsts with the Reds.
That history runs deep, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
Yeah. All right, Greg, thanks for joining us today with all these interesting factoids about the Reds.
Always a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
And happy opening day.